Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. I'm Loyal Rose, finally at EEE. All the materials and information I'm using here are taken from the YouTube channel of Mr. D. Siddharthan Sir, Assistant Professor of EEE Department, Christ the King Engineering College, that is Future of EEE channel. Today we are going to learn the V by F control of induction motor, which is the most common method in industry to control the speed of induction motors. In this method, we will maintain the flex and torque by maintaining the V by F ratio as constant. Now we are going to discuss how to maintain V by F ratio as constant. If we increase the frequency, then we need to increase the voltage as well to keep the V by F ratio as a constant. As well as if we decrease the frequency, we have to decrease the voltage in order to maintain V by F ratio as a constant. Constant V by F ratio maintains the torque and flex as constant. Next, we are going to see how the frequency of induction motor changes. It completely depends on the desired rotor speed, that is n star, at which speed we want to rotate the induction motor. Based on that, the line frequency to the induction motor has to be changed, by which the synchronous speed ns changes and hence the actual rotor speed n. Next, we are going to discuss an important point, that is how to change the voltage of induction motor with respect to frequency. As we already discussed, if frequency increases or decreases, the voltage has to be increased or decreased as well. So if we draw a graph between frequency and voltage, it will be almost linear. There is two important points that we have to note in this graph. The first important point is there is a need of small voltage boosting to be applied in low frequencies so that E will be approximately equal to V. It can be interpreted in another way, that it is to compensate the voltage drop in stator winding resistance R1. To understand it in a better manner, we can consider this per phase equivalent circuit of induction motor. To make the equation 1 as a valid equation, the terminal voltage V1 need to be approximately equal to the EMF E1. That is, the voltage drop in resistance R1 and reactance X1 should be small. Generally, reactance X1 will be very small when compared to the mutual inductance Xm, and hence it may be neglected from consideration. However, at the low frequency, the stator terminal voltage V1 is comparable to the stator resistance drop in R1. To compensate for the stator resistance, we need to apply a small voltage boost at low frequencies. Usually, the voltage applied to the induction motor should not increase beyond the rated voltage to avoid the insulation breakdown in the stator windings. So, beyond the rated voltage or base frequency, the voltage will be maintained constant. So, we will not be able to maintain the V by F ratio as constant, and hence the maximum available torque decreases in this region with the increase in frequency. We don't have any other way to maintain the ratio as constant. So, whenever we are operating beyond the rated voltage, we need to sacrifice the maximum available torque to avoid the insulation breakdowns in the stator windings. Next, we are going to see the torque speed characteristics of V by F control. As you can see, when voltage and frequency varies along with a small voltage boosting at the low frequencies, then the maximum available torque is constant. Hence, it is called constant torque region. Along with the constant torque, we can get very wide speed variation for the given low torque. Additionally, you can get high efficiency since the slip proportional to ns minus n, which is low, even if it is in low speed, that is ns1 minus n1, or in high speed ns5 minus n5. But beyond the rated voltage or base frequency, the voltage has to be maintained constant. So the only parameter we can vary beyond the rated voltage is frequency. So in torque speed characteristics, the maximum available torque will decrease, as you can see in this picture, and there will be no stiffness in the torque. So slip proportional to ns minus n will be high, and hence the efficiency will be less. Since the torque and flex are decreasing beyond the rated voltage or base frequency, this region is called flex weakening region. Usually we will operate induction motor in this region when speed is the only desire for the motor. Now let's see the implementation of closed loop V by F control using PWM method, which means it will have 3 sinusoidal signal and 1 triangular signal as shown here. Closed loop system is used where precise speed control is required, because even if any external disturbances happen, the closed loop system identifies it and maintains the desired rotor speed n star which we want. So the first step is to sense the actual rotor speed n using speed sensor. The desired rotor speed n star can be given by any non-technical person. Both n star and n is compared in the error generator and generates the error which is equal to n star minus n. This error will be given to the PI controller. The job of the PI controller is to change its output until the input error is 0. So the output of the PI controller is the desired slip frequency. In induction motor, torque is proportional to the slip speed ns minus n and hence the slip frequency fs minus fn or simply f minus fn. That's why this PI speed controller in induction motor is considered as slip frequency f minus fn. Next, this slip frequency has to be regulated using slip regulator so that it will restrict the operation below the breakdown frequency at which the maximum torque develop in the induction motor. Now the slip frequency f minus fn is going to be added with rotor speed frequency fn, which can be get if we multiply the rotor speed with p by 120. So we will get this desired frequency f star because f minus fn plus fn will be equal to f, which is stator frequency or line frequency. First, with the desired frequency f star, we can get the desired voltage V star using lookup table that includes the characteristics as shown. Next, the desired frequency f star is converted to omega star by multiplying it with 2 pi. Then omega star to omega t star by doing integration. With this desired voltage V star and angle omega t star, we can able to get 3 sinusoidal signals for PWM control circuit. To avoid confusions, first convert that into 2 sinusoidal signals V alpha and V beta, which will have 90-degree phase shift. Then the desired two-phase V alpha star and V beta star are converted into 3-phase V A star, V B star and V C star using inverse Clark transformation. Finally, the desired 3-phase V A star, VB star and VC star will be given to the PWM control circuit where it will be combined with the triangular carrier signal and generates the gate signals for switches in the inverter. At last, the inverter will give the desired voltage and frequency based on the desired rotor speed given. Here both the voltage and frequency is being changed up to the rated voltage, so the maximum available torque will be maintained and efficiency also be high. As I have mentioned in the starting of this video, it is the most common method which is used in the industries to control the speed of induction motors. If you wish to learn it in a detailed manner, you can go to the link which is given in the description box and you can also get the material prepared by Mr. D. Siddharthan sir, Assistant Professor of EEE Department. Thank you so much for watching this video.